In the month of July 2025, the world will gather at one of nature's greatest wonders, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. From the 23rd to the 31st of July 2025, Zimbabwe will proudly host the 15th meeting of the Conference of the Contracting Parties to the Convention on Wetlands, COP15. This is more than a conference, it's a call to action, running under the theme, protecting wetlands for our common future. COP15 will unite 173 nations to address pressing issues, wise use of wetlands, biodiversity loss, climate change, and sustainable development. Together, we will explore innovative solutions, strengthen global commitments, and ensure wetlands remain vital for the current generation and those to come. Join us in shaping a sustainable future. COP15, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, July 23rd to 31st. Protecting wetlands for our common future starts here.
This message was brought to you by the Environmental Management Agency, EMA. Together, protecting the environment.
The Permanent Secretary for Environment, Climate and Wildlife, TT Chifamba, the Secretary for Devolution and Provincial Affairs, senior government officials and heads of parastatals here present, the Environmental Management Board members, the EMA Directorate, management and staff members, international youth focal points and delegates present, the National Wetlands Youth Steering Committee and all youth present, the CEO for Net1, Mr. Raphael Mushanawani, members of the media fraternity, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you all to our youth dinner this evening. My name is Cinderella Ndlovu. I'll be your co-host today with my colleague.
And I am Hon Minister. I am also from African Youth Initiative on Climate Change. I will also be assisting my colleague here, talking to you more than everyone else in the room. Without wasting much of your time, allow me to invite our Director General of the Environmental Management Agency, Mr. Mushanawani, to give us his opening remarks. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Honorable Dr. Here represented by Professor Top, Director in the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife. She's the Director for Gender. I was asking those who made me to come in and make a presentation on the welcome remarks to say who is here to lead the guest of honor. They said they will bring a list to me. And I said it's not part of what I'm called to come and do. So now, Minister, I think I will allow myself to do the remarks and then allow our organizers to run down who is part of this memorable event which we are hosting just some few hours to the first of its kind in Africa and in the world, where the head of state and government will come and make a statement on how our national wetlands, regional wetlands, global wetlands should be looked after from tomorrow until the next 3 years, when Zimbabwe will be handing over the presidency to the next COP presidents on the conservation of our wetlands. Honorable Minister, Professor Mtopo, we have also Ambassador Senso Tsimbi and his board in the House. We want to take a recognition of him and the board, why, because they are part of the memorable event that we are hosting today, for making sure that they look after the Environmental Management Agency, which is mandated to ensure protection of wetlands in Zimbabwe and in the region. Why? Because we observe our wetlands in this region, southern region, as sources of our international cooperation, where we've got even groupings around that. I want also to recognize our national focal person for this event in Zimbabwe. I think should be introduced to us as we look into the matters which we are seated here to concentrate on, and also our CEO net one. We want also to observe our national senior government officials who are here. We have the media in the house. I'm trying to check how many of the contracting parties are represented in this house. Let's just wave ourselves. If you are here, contracting parties to the RAMSA convention or whatever. Let's do it and make a shout out of that. Where are we? Welcome to Zimbabwe. It is a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this special gathering. I am particularly inspired by such a vibrant, passionate, visionary young minds who are trying to make a statement, especially in this journey where we are trying to protect our wetlands, not for ourselves, but for those who are going to inherit them from us. I want to sincerely thank everyone who made this event possible. Your dedication brought us together for a cause that matters greatly, the conservation of our wetlands, especially in the theme that we are having it of making sure the future of our environment is dependent on these wetlands. Zimbabwe is proud to be home to some of the most dynamic young advocates for environmental sustainability, both nationally and globally. It's the Environmental Management Agency, which falls under the Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife. We have made it a priority to equip our youth with knowledge on key environmental issues, including wetlands and biodiversity, climate change, desertification, and health oceans. Our vision is to nurture a generation that not only understands the value of these resources, but also to protect them passionately. We are privileged to host among us youth leaders who serve in prestigious international roles, regional directors of Africa. Proud to support their journey through accreditation, funding, mentorship, and the creation of platforms for advocacy. Yet we know this is only the beginning. We must broaden this engagement and ensure every young person is empowered environmentally with education, particularly in wetlands and climate resilience. At the national level, we have witnessed inspiring youth participation in practical environmental work, removing invasive alien species such as Ranganakama, water hyacinth, organizing cleanups, making sure that our wetlands are not choked with plastics, establishing data transfer centers, and contributing to research and innovation. Our university students particularly demonstrating creative and leadership in these areas. EMA has also provided logistical support, including transport, facilitated youth outreach, peer learning, and consultation with communities in environmental related issues. This is our investment in our youth and sustainability of our ecosystem. Today we challenge you, our young environmental stewards, to innovate, advocate and mobilize for wetlands wise use and their protection. Wetlands are not just habitats, they are our water resources, temperature regulators, carbon sinks, lifelines for our countries and our continents, and the global village that we call planet. Raise your voices, develop solutions, and fundraise to preserve these wetlands. Be their champions. Thank you. Siyabonga. George. Thank you so much, Master of Ceremony. And once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, our youth in the house, and our key stakeholders. I have been requested to do a small task which I want you to accompany me and make sure that I do it right. We are privileged this evening to host one of the fine citizens of this country in the name of Dr. of our Minister for Environment, Climate and Wildlife, here fully represented by Professor Utoko, who is going to lead us into the session that we are going to allow her to come up and make sure that we get the message from our Minister. Honorable Minister, you are welcome. Let's put our hands together.
Warm greetings to you all and cordial greetings from our Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Dr. Edwin, and thank you so much. May you all take your seats. Allow me to start the journey now. Representatives from the Office of the President are warmly welcomed. The Environmental Management Agency Director General, Mr. Aaron Chikona, and the Environmental Management Agency family here present, senior government officials and heads of parastatals here present, international youth focal points and delegates present, members of the media fraternity here present, the board members of the Environmental Management Agency, as well as the board chair here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege for me to address you all on this auspicious occasion, where we are gathered to be a witness to the official welcome dinner for our youth champions in wetland conservation and management. Thank you all for coming to be witnesses to this memorable event. Today is indeed a historic moment for my ministry and the entire RAMSA youth constituents represented here, and it will remain engraved in our memories, our hearts, and our souls for a long time to come. It is the culmination of many months of hard work, dedication, mixed with a lot of uncertainties and doubts that crept in at some point. But eventually today, we are all seeing the sweetness of all our sweat through this gathering of our future leaders in conservation. On behalf of the to a total commitment to wetland conservation and youth commitment in biodiversity protection, creating an enabling environment towards promoting sustainable utilization of natural resources and protection of the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, our vision as a nation to be an upper middle class society by 2030 can only be achieved through, among other things, empowering of our young people through Resolution 23.19 on youth empowerment and integration. I'm convinced that this resolution will result in the construction of a more powerful youth task force across all sectors with a cherished pride for the conservation of our wetlands heritage. Our young people remain key in perpetuating the wetlands agenda, hence the need to create a conducive working environment to afford them the judicious delivery of relevant services to the nation. It is against this background the ministry has embarked on a drive to empower young people through giving them platforms such as this to make their work bearable, noticeable, and heard. This trajectory is meant to align the ministry with the aspirations of the National Development Strategy, as well as we move into the National Development Strategy too. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry has a tall order in taking care of our young people and the environment they exist in, which in essence remains the backbone of our natural heritage and livelihoods, as it supplies new and fresh minds in the production and supply chain. The Environmental Management Agency and all the parastatals under the Ministry of Environment are our national environmental watchdog, with a huge task to regulate, monitor, and promote sustainable management of natural resources and environmental protection. Youth empowerment must continue being streamlined in all of the agendas. This task must be executed with precision in order to reverse and halt biodiversity loss, land degradation, and the effects of climate change, which are being experienced globally, and with Zimbabwe being no exception. Last but not least, I would like to commend the Environmental Management Agency and all partners present for always supporting youth initiatives in order to perform proactively and to address the environmental challenges at hand. Your visionary leadership is above board. Thank you so much for that. Finally, I wish the youth delegates here present well in all their endeavors, and always remember that the nation has entrusted you with the obligation of ensuring that a clean, sustainable, safe and healthy environment is achieved. On this note, it is now my great pleasure to officially declare the Youth Welcome Dinner open. I thank you all. It's noted that Siyabonga. Doribuwa.
I'll just introduce myself once more. So I'm Olayasi from Fiji, youth focal point for Fiji. Work with WWF Pacific and very much engaged in our wetlands in Fiji. If you do not know where that is in the Pacific Ocean. One of the small islands floating about in the Pacific, very much devastating, first very much harshly also impacted by climate change. But we're very fortunate to be here, and we thank you for the lovely host so far. So I'll require everyone to stand for this one. It's quite very simple. So there's a group already here, there's a group at the back, and we'll split the two in the middle to the 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can we do that? The middle table, you guys have an exception to be seated and watch. The other 4 groups, can we have 1 group to this side, 1 group to the far end, 3rd group, and the 4th group. Sorry, can we get moving? I know everyone is just standing around, instructions not clear yet. It's just 4 groups. So it's very simple. You're able to distinguish between first group, leave some space for the second group, the third group, and then you'll have the 4th. The first group will be, this is called house chores in Fiji. We do this almost every workshop. So the first group will be sweeping the house. Sweep the house, ladies and gentlemen, if you know how to sweep. The second group will be feeding the baby. Carrying the baby, sorry. Carry the baby. So do you know how to carry the baby? I don't see everyone carrying that. Yay, thank you. So we have sweeping the house, carry the baby, cook the food. Group 3, you'll be cooking the food. You know how to cook? Yes, stir that pot. And then the 4th group will be ironing the cloth. Iron the cloth. So we'll start with sweep the house. Sweep the house, sweep the house, sweep the house. Who do you want to pass it to? Feed the baby. Feed the baby, feed the baby, feed the baby. Who do you want to pass it to? The iron the clothes is here. You do not know how to follow instructions. So who will be ironing the clothes? So once they pass it to iron the clothes, if they want to push it back, they can throw it to cook the food. Yay, they know how to follow instructions. Listen to them. So they will be doing that. wants what? A trial. Sweep the house, sweep the house, sweep the house. You're supposed to say it louder than me.
Sweep the house, sweep the house, sweep the house, sweep the house.
Say it 3 times and then you pass it to feed the baby. Yeah, and then you pass it to whoever you want to pass it to. Instructions, okay? We'll have a once trial again. 1, 2, 3.
Sweep the house, sweep the house, sweep the house.
Thank you for the interventions and the energizers. It was not easy for me to speak after the minister has spoken. Forgive my voice. When you are dealing with young people, you are shouting half the time, so this is the result. So allow me to acknowledge our minister present, represented by our professor. Allow me to also acknowledge members of the Environmental Management Board, with our board chairperson, Ambassador Simbi, and to also acknowledge the EMA Directorate. You have seen our Director General. Allow me also to acknowledge our the RAMSA Youth Focal Point. Allow me to acknowledge the National RAMSA Focal Point, the main man, Mr. Nangisi, sir. You can, maybe they want to see you. And allow me to write on the protocol which has been already observed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our youth focal dinner, to our youth welcome dinner. I've been asked to talk about the road to COP15, and I must mention at this point that for every young person present, it's been an intimate journey that we are all aware of. And I think if we start talking about stories to how we came to COP15, it will take us the whole night. But at this point, I feel incomplete. I feel if I stand here and address you without acknowledging the team behind the work, it will be a misrepresentation on my part. So allow me to be a bother and to raise members of the National Youth Steering Committee who worked tirelessly to make this event a success. Guys, if you can stand up so that they can see you. Maybe you might want to come to the front just for a minute so they can properly see you. So as they are coming up, let me also take this time to acknowledge our Net1 Zimbabwe CEO. As you can see, we have our banners, their banners present, and they've been very instrumental in terms of supporting our work leading to COP15. Net1 Zimbabwe, we acknowledge you. Thank you. So these are some of the faces behind the work that have been leading to RAMSA COP15, the youth faces, and they've been working tirelessly in terms of making it an achievement. What I'm happy about is I'm sure in every country. Okay, so what I was saying is I'm sure in every country we have something similar to this, young people who are working behind wetlands, and it is only proper that today we acknowledge them. I also recognize youth in other countries. Thank you. To my fellow colleagues, my fellow youth focal points in different countries, allow me to also acknowledge you. Where are you in the room? Maybe by a show of raise of hands. Youth focal points. I'm sure you can come up here as well. Yes, can you please come front just for a second so that we know who you are. have a quick revolving mic so that our generals can introduce themselves.
Hello everyone again. I'm Apurva, I'm from India, and I am the youth focal point for India, and I work with Wetlands International. Great to be here.
Good evening everyone. My name is Tanya Jada. I'm from Eswatini and the youth focal point for Eswatini. I'm also the mental co-lead for Youth and Mental Health.
Hello everyone, nice to be here. I'm Lou and I'm the youth focal point and youth delegate for France.
Good evening everyone, I am Razana Kula, youth focal point in Madagascar. I am honored to be with you in this evening.
Hello everyone, my name is Hon Minister. I'm from Germany, with focal point and delegate, and it's really nice to have here together.
Good evening once again. I am Ulai from Fiji, Fiji's focal youth point and delegate. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Raphael Mushanawani, and I'm the youth focal point for Zambia.
Hello everyone, my name is Hon Minister. I'm a youth focal point from the Delegates Tanzania, and I work with the people biodiversity projects.
Hello everyone, my name is Jojo Rufa. I'm with Delegate of Papua New Guinea.
Hello everyone, nice to be here. My name is Rudy Simon. I'm the focal point for the environment of Fanodio, the South Pacific. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much guys. You can take a seat. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been truly an honor to stand before you today and share the incredible journey that we have embarked on. And our path has been defined by collaboration and unwavering dedication, which began with the establishment of the National Youth Steering Committee with, of course, the permission of our Minister of Environment and the Environmental Management Agency. This committee has been the driving force behind all initiatives, a testament to the power of youth in shaping our environmental future. Allow me to thank you once again for your tireless efforts, our Youth Steering Committee. This vital work would not have been possible without the immense support we have received from the Ministry of Environment, the Environmental Management Agency, and the other partners, who throughout the process have showed their consistent guidance, they've extended their resources, and even showed belief in our vision. One thing I really must mention at this point is they kept their doors open. Whenever we needed guidance, whenever we needed to be corrected, their doors as our seniors were always open. And we again have been incredibly privileged to have a global perspective informing our work, and this refers to our international and regional partners, and we have benefited immensely from the insights and collaboration of youth leaders from across the world. Our journey to COP15 has been comprehensive and inclusive. It has involved extensive pre-workshops. I'm sure this was happening in every country. Young people meeting, teaching each other what is COP15, what are we going to do at RAMSA, what do we want from RAMSA, you know, making your energetic demands and ambitions being heard. And I must mention at this point the weekly meetings, the Zoom meetings, whether it's the WhatsApp meeting or any other platform where you guys were meeting, because at times maybe we could not meet physically. So I really want to acknowledge the dedication that came with those meetings and even the outcomes that are going to be showcased in the coming days. And not to mention the side events, our platform to shine. I'm sure we're all going to have our side events, and even maybe allow me to acknowledge the amount of work and effort which was put in organizing those side events. And I would really encourage organizations who are having their side events to extend their invitations to us. As you can see, our room ended up having an overflow. This is the amount of audience you'll be expecting in your side events. And looking ahead, our commitment to a meaningful youth participation at COP15 remains paramount. In a later session today, we are going to have our National Zimbabwean Youth Statement be read here today. And I also acknowledge that we also have a Global Youth Statement, which a dedicated global group was working on. And our National Youth Statement also borrows certain ideas from that Global Youth Statement. So at this point, we'll also have a few minutes to discuss the way forward and maybe even engage the audience in terms of mapping it out. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank you once again. Thank you for coming. Thank you for all the nice events that are going to happen at COP15. And we do have our draft resolution on youth. I'm looking forward to the outcome.
The Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, Dr. Ndlovu, in absentia, but here represented by Professor Mtoko, Secretary for Environment, Climate and Wildlife, the Secretary for Devolution and Provincial Affairs, Environmental Management Agent, all members present, the Director General of the Environmental Management Agency, senior government officials, and heads of parastatals here present. All the international youth focal points and delegates present. And of course, the National Wetlands Youth Steering Committee, the CEO for Net1 Zimbabwe, members of the media fraternity, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is with great honor that as young people, we address you this evening. As the nation of Zimbabwe proudly hosts the 15th Conference of the Parties to the RAMSA Convention on Wetlands, COP15, here in Victoria Falls. This gathering is a moment of reflection. It's also a moment of pride and opportunity. As Zimbabwe hosts COP15, this gives us the chance as a nation to show global leadership, not only in wetland policy, but in how we engage our greatest demographic assets, which are the youth. Globally, the youth represents 30 to 35% of the global population. The youth are a powerful force for wetland stewardship, for action, and for innovation. We want to commend the government of Zimbabwe for the establishment of the National Youth Steering Committee for the RAMSA Convention on Wetlands, and also for the early efforts which they undertook in creating all the youth engagement spaces and platforms. As a result, we respectively submit the following priorities drawn from the National Youth Position Paper, a product of nationwide consultations with youth voices from diverse backgrounds. Our call to action, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, we call for the full operationalization of the RAMSA Convention on Wetlands Resolution 12, which is to institutionalize full youth participation in wetland governance. We are saying that the youth must be recognized not just as beneficiaries, but as co-creators of solutions. We propose the formalization of the National Youth Steering Committee as a government youth body, which will continue to contribute to the conservation efforts of young people in Zimbabwe relating to wetlands management. Secondly, as the youth of Zimbabwe, we also propose for the establishment of a dedicated National Wetlands Youth Innovation Fund to support youth restoration efforts, youth green enterprise initiatives, and technology projects which are aligned with different international financial mechanisms such as the Green Climate Fund, your Jeff Small Grants Program, and also the RAMSA Small Grants Fund. Thirdly, we call for structured capacity building and mentorship with youth training specifically focused on wetland ecology, wetland policy, advocacy, and digital tools integrated into national education systems and technical institutions in line with international standards. We also urge increased investment in youth-led, nature-based solutions and green enterprises within the different communities we have as Zimbabwe. We advocate for enhanced youth access to research and innovation platforms, including issues such as your AI, GIS, and community monitoring, as well as the integration of wetland education into the curriculum in all our official local languages. We commit as the youth of Zimbabwe to protect, to restore, and to sustainably use our wetlands, and we pledge to lead with integrity, to collaborate across generations and uphold our responsibility to the future of all Zimbabweans. Honorable Minister, the youth of Zimbabwe are already taking action. We are comforted by your immeasurable support displayed at the recently held RAMSA, which specifically also focused on the establishment of the African Group of Negotiators on Wetlands, the Zimbabwe Vision, and also the Victoria Falls Declaration. What we now seek is continued partnership. We also seek policy space and meaningful financial mechanisms, meaningful financial investment to amplify our impact. Let COP15 be remembered not only for its declarations, but for the bold steps Zimbabwe took to invest in its young people, now and hopefully in the future. I thank you.
Thank you very much, directors of the ceremony. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Minister of Environment, Climate, and Wildlife, Honorable Ndlovu, here represented. EMA Director General, Mr. Chigona, Excellencies and distinguished delegates, members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of the youth organizations, and partners and stakeholders, our colleagues from the fourth estate, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, and all protocols observed. Once again, good evening. Standing here in the awe-inspiring heart of Victoria Falls, a place where water, wildness, and wonder meet. It is not just a personal honor, a national statement. This is not an ordinary gathering. This is COP15. This is Zimbabwe rising. This is our wetlands calling, and we are answering. On behalf of Net1 Private Limited, which is one of the leading digital solutions providers in Zimbabwe, it is a profound privilege to address this youth welcome dinner. A pivotal moment hosted in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife, EMA, and the RAMSA National Youth Steering Committee. We gather not only to break bread, but to build bridges across generations, across borders, and across ecosystems. And we do so under the inspired leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, whose National Development Strategy 1 doesn't just prioritize infrastructure and innovation. It uplifts climate resilience, youth inclusion, and environmental justice. As we prepare for the adoption of the Victoria Falls Declaration for Sustainable Wetland Conservation, we are reminded of one truth. The wetlands are watching, and history is listening. And at Net1, we have chosen to respond not with slogans, but with solutions. Through the IoT-enabled wetland systems, we are turning data into early warning systems. Because if nature sends a signal, we must learn to listen. Through our One Connect infrastructure, we are empowering cross-border collaborations, scientific networks, and policy interventions, because climate has no passport. And wetlands know no boundaries. And yes, every delegate tonight who received a Net1 SIM card, don't think of it just as a tech tool. Think of it as a digital pledge. A pledge to connect better. A pledge to conserve deeper and to innovate smarter. This is not just connectivity, it is climate conscious connectivity. This is not just innovation, it is innovation with integration. This is technology in the service of the motherland earth. And tonight, as the youth unveil their vision, as regional voices speak up, and as Zimbabwe showcase their leadership, we say with pride, Net1 is here, not in the background, but in the front row. Not behind the scenes, but beside you. To our international guests, Zimbabwe is not just a place of beauty. It is a beacon of possibility. To our youth, this is your table. This is your time. This is your terrain. To our media colleagues, the storytellers for our time, thank you for illuminating this cause, amplifying this mission, and holding us all to And so tonight, let us dine with purpose. Let us laugh, let us network, challenge, connect, but above all, let us remember, wetlands are not wastelands. They are wombs of life. Youth are not the future, you are the fierce agency of now. And technology, when placed in the right hands, can heal and not harm our planet. To our organizers, we salute your coordination. To the delegates, we admire your courage. To the fourth estate, we value your lenses. And to our shared earth, we recommit with purpose. From the banks of the mighty Zambezi River to every wetland in the world. Let's protect, let's connect, let's progress together. Thank you, Siawong.
Thank the Minister of Environment for giving us artists the opportunity to participate in such a great event. And also I would like to thank Emma, Director General, as well as Zimpax. I would love to thank again IFO and Zela. You know why? They've given a hand. I've composed a song, theme song for COP15. I believe you are going to watch the video, I think tomorrow I mean. So enjoy and again welcome. I am a wetland.
First time in Zimbabwe, second time in Africa. Welcome to Tambule, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe. Kimabuka Nchira. I am a wetland.